Hello, welcome back to the Millennial Black Sheep podcast. My name is Sabrina and today I'm going to be talking about the Matrix. Now, obviously, my mission is to help Millennial Black Sheep of society to break free from the money matrix. So it's only natural for me to then talk a little bit about the Matrix at least. So today I'm going to be talking about kind of what the Matrix is and what the problem is and how you can start yourself breaking free from it. The Matrix isn't pointing fingers at a person. It isn't one person that you can blame. It is a whole system that is developed for enslavement. But the Matrix is about finding out who you are. Now, that might sound really weird, but the Matrix is a system that's developed to keep you enslaved. So it keeps you away from identifying who you really are. Now, let me explain this. You can't blame someone for you being stuck. You can't blame someone for you being, a robot, being stuck in your life, that life sucks, that you have no money, that everything is going wrong, all those different things. Yes, you can blame the elites. Yes, you can blame the government. Yes, you can blame whoever you want. That's not really going to help you break free from the money matrix, though. It's not going to help you get out of that type of structural system that keeps you enslaved. What you have to look at is your identity. Now, what I mean with that is it's not your sex, it's not who you identify as or what you identify as. There's nothing to do with it whatsoever. Your identity is when you're born, you're given a number. Yes, the number on your passport. And then you're told by your parents certain things or your grandparents. And then you're taught by a school system certain things. How you should be, how you should act, what you should say, how you should do different things. And all that mashes up together and it creates you. That's not you. That's not the real you. That's the you that the system wants you to be. That's the you that is enslaved, thinking that working is the only option to earn any money. You have to have a job. You can't be self-sufficient. You can't do your own thing, basically. You have to follow in other people's footsteps. Guess what? That is the biggest lie of them all. But you are the problem. I am the problem. Because the Matrix is a system that's built on compliance. We comply with what the system tells us. We comply that we have to pay taxes, that we have to pay our bills, that we have to do this, that we have to do that. And that is what then destroys our identity because it's not who we really are. Now, the way that you identify as yourself, obviously you can look at people and you look up to them. Let's say a motivational speaker, for example, Ed Milet. It's the first one that pops into my mind. You can look at his attributes of who he is as a person, like his character, what he talks about, what his values are and everything, and you can absorb some of them and make them your own. But you need to find who you are, what you stand for, what are your values, what are your truths. Because every person is different. And everyone should be identifying as their own person instead of I am a mum, or I am a dad, or I am a blah. It's kind of controversial because I'm saying I'm a millennial black sheep. But I am because I know that there's things outside of the system that I can see. Same as you. You know that you're black sheep because you see things outside of the system. The system is a box, but you've never fit into that box. But actually getting physically out of that box, being in the box and understanding that you don't fit in it is one thing. Actually getting out of the box, that's a completely different thing. And then guess what? It's a bigger box and a bigger box and a bigger box until you eventually, physically, properly get out. So it's about finding out what your values are. What are your core values? What are the things that you stand for? Not keeping up with the Joneses and saying what every Karen, Bob, and Sally agree with. It means standing up for what you believe in. Do you believe that what people are saying about X, Y, and Z is to be true? Or do you believe that the opposite? It's about actually having an opinion. But it's about sticking to your opinion. But it's also about understanding that if someone teaches you something different now, you should never, ever believe anyone else but yourself. That is rule number one. That is rule number one that you should always, always, always comply by. Because every single person has their own truth. Every single people see things differently. It's like history. It's his story. It's not something that is truth, because what you see with your own eyes can also be manipulated. So everyone has their own perspective. So you need to go from your perspective, and your perspective alone is the whole truth. But you have to evaluate the information. You have to put the pros and the cons. You have to see, is there facts in this, or is there a story in this? Because in every fact there's story, and in every story there's facts. That is how you can start becoming your own person. That is how you can start identifying with who you really are, not who you've been told or what you do. Because your profession is not your identity. It's got nothing to do with who you are. It's got nothing to do with what values you have or what you inspire to be. I mean, you might be a gardener, but you're a true entrepreneur at heart, and you're just waiting for that golden opportunity, or you're just waiting for that right time. Let me tell you another thing. Time is never right, and it never will be. But what you have to understand is identifying as your own person is the most important thing, because that is what will break you out from the first box, which is compliance. Compliance is the true nature of the whole system. It is built on it. We believe that we have to do the things that the system tells us, that we have to follow the rules. Guess what? You can make your own. You can walk in your own footsteps. You want to be a millionaire? Then go for it. You want to open your own business and everyone's told you that it's going to be a failure? Make it a success. Stop living for other people's expectations, because that's the system. That's the Matrix. The Matrix, if you've ever seen the movie, it tells you what to do, when to do it, how to say it, how to think, everything. I mean, we're even told how we're meant to think about a situation, or how we are bad for society because we don't think the way that everyone else does. Guess what? You're amazing for society, but not the society that they want you to fit into, the society that you want to be a part of. And that is all about breaking free from the Matrix, because actually physically getting 100% out of the Matrix is close to impossible until you find out who you are. Because who you've been told you are is never going to get you out. Who you think you are is also never going to get you out. Because remember, the person that you think you are is already a different person today when you're listening to this. Because you're already evolving, you're already changing, you're already improving, you're already leveling up, you're already changing. But if you think that that's who you are at core, that those values will never change, then you're part of the problem. You're part of the ones that don't want to embrace change. I'm not talking about change as in a 15-minute city. I'm not talking about change as digital IDs. I'm talking about change in making the world a better place, in us actually having freedom to do what it is that we want to do. Now, you might think, oh yeah, but if we don't have anyone telling us what to do, then there's going to be riots and people are going to be crazy and da-da-da and all those things. Would you? Honestly, would you? If you saw someone hurting, would you hurt them more? It's an honest question. Would you? Because I wouldn't. The things that we've been told by the system, by the Matrix, that is normal, for me, that's not normal. For the people that I know, that's not normal. So why is it normal for you? Why is it normal for everyone else, so-called, in the world? I don't believe that it is. But I believe that we're so compliant with the normal that it becomes the truth. It's like people say, tell a lie enough times, you believe it. But you try and show someone the truth, but they've never heard it before, it's hard for them to believe. But you tell a lie enough times, like over and over and over and over again. You see it with the propagandas, you see it with TV, you see it with news. They tell a lie enough times, enough people start believing it. So what lie are you telling yourself that you're making yourself believe that is who you identify as? And because you identify as being a dad that needs to support his family, you can't do anything else. That's what society's told you. That's what the system wants you to believe. That's being stuck in the Matrix. Getting unplugged is taking risks. It's understanding that failure is the road to success. It's making sure that your mental, how would you say this? Your mental identity with who you really are is always there, 100% on point. No one can tell you you're bulletproof. That's breaking free from the matrix, because it's breaking free from here. It's breaking free from what you're told, what you've believed your whole life. None of it's true. It's all a lie. Everything. I guarantee you, everything you've been told has been some sort of lie. But you've been told it enough times, so it becomes the truth. You've been told enough times, for example, let's give a very, very simple example that everyone can understand. Love. When you feel heartbreak, you feel sad. You've been told that. Doesn't necessarily have to be true. Emotions are 90 seconds. That is it. That is your emotional actual response is 90 seconds. Then you're done with it. Everything else is up here. So do you think you're stuck in the system? Do you think you're stuck in the matrix? Do you want to get out of it? Identify who you are. What are your core values? What is it you inspire or get inspired by? Do you get inspired by yourself, or do you look up to someone else? If you look up to someone else and you feel jealousy, guess what? That's because you're meant to do it. Where your fear lies is where your strengths are. What you're most afraid of and what you actually suck at right now is where you're most going to be successful. If you actually go for it. If you actually want to take that step. If you actually take the physical path of, here's path A, society, here's path B, your parents, and here's path C, your friends. Guess what? You can go X, make your own. But it's about understanding who you are at core values so that you become bulletproof. So if someone says, oh, but I heard this, but you know that that's not your truth, then you go, okay, well, that's good for you. I believe something else. You don't have to push your beliefs on other people, which is what's wrong with society as a first, or the system. It's not society, it's the system. It's the matrix. Is that we're told to push our beliefs on other people. No, you should stick to your beliefs yourself. When you learn something that contradicts what you believed and you understand that this is the new truth, you should always change your mind, because everything is about evolution. Everything is about evolving. But are you evolving backwards? So you're making your life worse, or are you evolving forwards, making your life better? Because you can't physically step backwards in your life, but you can evolve backwards, making your life worse, because you're choosing, instead of going straight forwards, where your goals is, where your ambition is, where your inspiration is, where you are, the true you. You're just turning a little bit to the side and you're going that way instead. Instead of being focused. Instead of having the inspiration and understanding that life is more and actually going for it. Because understanding it, like I said, knowing that you're in the matrix and getting out of the matrix, two completely different things. But you have to start somewhere. You have to start with who you are. Because you've been told that university will make you smart. It actually makes you dumb. You might believe that, you might not. Let me explain why. Why would you want to go somewhere where everyone is studying the same thing so that you can pay for stuff that you don't even know that you want? That is the system. That is the matrix. It's making you believe that you need to do what everyone else does to get the same results as everyone else. Guess what you do when you're a black sheep? You don't. Because you know that you don't want to be like every Dick, Bob, and Harry. You know that you don't want to keep up with the Joneses. You know that you don't want to get told what to do. So then stop complying to the system. Stop complying with Matrix. Stop living in it and step outside of it. If you've never seen the movie Matrix, please go and watch it. Watch number 1. Just number 1. You don't have to watch any of the others. Just number 1. And see how different it is when you actually wake up and understand that everything can be changed. Because once you understand how you can get out of the matrix, then you can start changing the matrix for your own life, not for anyone else's. Because you're not meant to be changing your life for anyone else's anyway. You're not getting out of the matrix for your kids. You're getting out of the matrix for you so that you eventually can help your kids. Or you're getting out for you so that eventually you can help your family if they're willing to go that way. Because remember, not everyone is willing to wake up. But if you know that you're an entrepreneur at heart, you just never found the right thing, then start looking at what your ambitions are. What is it you dream of? What is it you inspire to do? What legacy do you want to leave? Because guess what? What you do right now, here, today, can change your life in 90 days. But if you don't do anything today, and you don't start until tomorrow, guess what? You won't start until the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. Guess what? Monday never comes. Because that's the matrix. We live for the weekend so that we can slave through the week. We live for the weekend so we can slave through the week. Why do you live for the weekend so you can slave through the week? Don't you want more than that? Don't you inspire to have more than that? Do you understand now why your identity is important? Your identity is getting destroyed in every aspect. Men, you are told you are weak. You are told that you can't be emotional, that you have two emotions, then you're too cold-hearted, then you're not strong, then you're too strong, then you're sexist, then you're not, then you're this, then you're that. You're getting constantly destroyed. It's about time you figure out who you are so that you can stand up for yourself, so that you become bulletproof. So that if some stupid person out there comes and tells you something different, you know it would just bounce off you. Because it doesn't harm you anymore. Because you know what your identity is. You know who you are. Now, identity, the word in itself, has been so blown out of proportion. I mean, you can identify as a alien unicorn that loves to poop pink shit. Yeah. I just made that shit up and probably is someone out there identifying as it. That's not what your identity is. Your identity is understanding who you are on the inside as well as on the outside. It is understanding what your core values are so deep into your root that you become bulletproof. It's understanding that you can manipulate and change anything that is possible in your life. All you have to do is believe it in here so that you create it in here and you start to see it there. That is what the Matrix is. The Matrix is a system. It is a computer game that you can hack. But to understand how to hack it, you have to understand who your character is. Now, your character can't be some fluffy, rainbow, loving, kissing giant, because then you have no power. It has to be who you are, a core value, who you've been told that you could never be. If you've been told in school your whole life you never do anything, did you prove them wrong or did you prove them right? In the beginning, I proved them right. I was told I was stupid. So I showed people how stupid I was. Until I realized, that's not who I am. And then I was told by some other people in my life that I would never be successful in anything, or I would never accomplish anything, or I would never actually finish anything that I started. And I started to believe it myself that I could never finish anything that I started. I started to say, wow, I'm not a finisher. Everything I've done in my life, I've managed to finish. There's never been a problem. But I heard it. I heard the lie enough times, so I believed it to be a truth. Because I didn't have a bulletproof identity of who I am. But now I'm starting to see that I need to. I'm starting to see that that is where my core values stand. That is what can make me bulletproof when it comes to my business, when it comes to my entrepreneurship, when it comes to helping you. Because first I have to identify as the real me. Then I can help you identify as the real you. But you have to take the first step. And the first step by doing that is understanding that the system can be hacked. If the system can be hacked, you can always change. It's the beauty of life. Life is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be a roller coaster. But you get to choose to go on that roller coaster. You get to choose to experience the traumas, the difficulties, the positive things, the love, the negativity, the toxic relationships, the positive relationships, all those different things, but they do not make up your identity. Your experience is not who you are. What you've learned from those experiences is what makes you who you are. So look at your life. Take a real hard look at your life right now and figure out, are you where you want to be? Or are you ready for change? Do you want to keep playing by the rules and staying stuck in the system and stuck in the matrix? Or are you ready to fucking level up? You ready to get out? Are you ready to do something more with your life that you can be proud of? Because guess what? Doing that 9 to 5, that's not making you proud. Getting that 5% raise, woohoo, that's not making you proud. And who is it that you'd like to make proud? Obviously, start with yourself, always, in every aspect of your life. Start with yourself. But who is the other person that you would like to show that you can do something? Who is it that you inspire to be like? Do you have a mentor? Do you have someone you look up to? Or are you actually going to start looking up to yourself and be proud of who you are, who you've become, what you've been through, what you've learned from that, what your identity is, what your core values are? All those different things is what's important, not the rest of the bullshit. Because the matrix can be hacked, because the system can be penetrated, a life can change, and it can change drastically. But you have to take the first step. You have to see that there's a way to get out of it. You have to realize that you are the boss, not anyone else. But if you are a millennial black sheep, you are an entrepreneur at heart, and you are then looking for something, or you've already started something, but maybe you're not quite there yet with following how you're meant to be doing it, don't open a business just to become a glorified employee. I've done that. I've been there. That doesn't serve you. Don't get another 3 jobs just so that you can go on 1 extra holiday a year. That doesn't serve you. That's not your purpose. You're more than that. Your story needs to be told. Your story needs to be heard. You could help people. But first of all, you could help yourself. So if you are looking for a business opportunity, then this is what I do. I help Millennial Black Sheep of society to break free from the money matrix and build a thriving business online. So if that's you, then subscribe to this channel. Let me know, comment below, or find me on Instagram and send me a DM. And let's talk. Let's figure out how you can make your future the one you've always wanted, instead of wasting it just existing. I mean, look how beautiful life is. Look at what's being created in this beautiful game that we live, that we play every day. Shouldn't we make the most of it? Shouldn't we explore all the possibilities that there are? Because guess what? You're not. I wasn't. But I'm starting to. And you should too. So hopefully you got some value from this and you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget. And I appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you soon.